Hi, I'm Ken Danjanovich, your host of this edition of Sportsman's News Television. I traded in my fly rod for my Browning X-Bow for this special edition. I'm in the wilderness area of the thoroughfare outside of Yellowstone National Park with Open Creek Outfitters. Boy, this is a great area, unbelievable scenery. Hunting for elk, deer, and sheep are fantastic. We're here the last week in September in the heat of the rut. Bulls are really boisterous right now, and boy, they shot some great bulls last week, so we're looking for a great week here at Open Creek Outfitters outside of Cody, Wyoming.
Well, we made it to camp, just over a 32-mile ride in. It took us, by the time we stopped for lunch and a couple of breaks here and there, took us just barely over 9 hours total to come in. Left about 8 o'clock this morning, got here about 10 after 5. So, boy, pretty country. Just drainage after drainage that we came through, and the streams keep merging and merging until they get down here with the Thoroughfare River, and then we're just off of another little tributary here that goes into it too. So the pack animals are behind us, and as soon as we get them here, we'll break everything out, and they'll get us dinner going, and take it easy tonight and get started first thing in the morning here at Open Creek Outfitters out of Cody, Wyoming.
All right, here you go. That was a perfect...
Ken, that was a nice shot. We left camp this morning about 5 minutes to 6. It was dark. I'm sure that Kent can attest to that. On a pretty good trail. We broke off the trail about 20 minutes out of camp and headed on a Packers trail up Coyote Creek, we call it. And we come up to the top here. We're right at above tree line, as you can see behind us. And we're about 2.5 hours from camp. We saw sheep, we saw grizzly bears this morning coming in here. So it was a great adventure already.
things you can do when you're heading out to the outdoors on a big game hunt is get comfortable with your ammunition. Barnes does an excellent job. We're using a Browning X-Bolt calibered in a 300 WSM on this particular trip. Our bullet of choice is the 165 grain ballistic tip triple shock ammunition from Barnes, and boy, this Vortex is a great bullet. It does just what you want to on a big game animal. It's going to knock that animal down and really make it so you're not going to have to worry about chasing it through the woods. Really get out and work your ammunition, get comfortable with it, make sure you're using the right ammunition for the right big game.
Within about 90 yards of us, and Jay and Wayne thought that was plenty close enough. Elk's been really responsive, so we're just kind of laying up and keeping an eye out for bears.
Hi, I'm Jay Reynolds. I'm owner of Open Creek Outfitters, LLC, here in the Bridger Teton National Forest. Here's my lower camp in Open Creek. As you can see, over this way we have all our hunter tents that our hunters will stay in whenever they're here.
Hunters come in, they're bringing their own bedrolls, but you supply the cot and the mattress pad
Yes,
for them.
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's correct. And then they're dining and cook tent, all the cooking on that end, all the dining on this end, and we got some nice split stoves in here, keep them warm, and hot water all the time for washing up and drinks, and just some seating areas. Good place to visit and tell stories while the hunt's going, for sure. But yeah, I mean, this is about as remote as you can get in the lower 48s.
Good.
For sure.
And you've got how many square miles would you say that you're hunting in this area?
You know, I think it comes out to close to 70 square miles that
Really?
we hunt in this area. Open Creek's about 14 miles long and then has about 13 tributaries. Yeah, our last season, the season is over October 21st. So my last two hunts are getting more migratory type elk hunt, and also possibility of getting a deer as well, because we get some really good migratory deer through here. And then our starting date is actually September 10th for rifle season.
Oh.
So we're hunting right through the rut.
Great.
And then I'll do one archery hunt prior to that as well.
Up to 12 hunters in your two camps here?
Yeah, you bet. Usually I try to shoot for 4 to 6 per camp when I got both camps going.
Yeah, so basically what you're doing on a trip here with Open Creek is you're coming into Cody the night before the your hunt starts, your total hunt package starts. Then it's a day ride in, get here in the evening, start hunting the next morning, hunt for 6 days.
Yep.
And then you ride out on the 8th day, and then again you'll stay in Cody that night, and then leave the next morning, whether you drive or there's a regional airport right here that Sky West flies into to build a connection.
Yeah, you bet you can fly in from Salt Lake or from Denver into Cody for sure. So.
So how was that, Jay?
That was good. Pretty quick. Had to caught him on the horses, got back in time, and was able to get a shot off. This is my 9th season of doing this, and this is only the 2nd bull I've ever taken up here. So I certainly haven't taken a lot of time for myself to go hunting, that's for sure. So this is a real treat to be able to hunt for myself. So.
That's really the key to any big game hunting, is you want to know your equipment, and especially your ammunition and your gun, don't you?
Yes, for sure. You know, I mean, you know, you want to know where it's dropping, where you're going to hit. You know, I always sight mine 3 inches high at 100, so I'm zero about 275, and anything before that I can hold pretty much right in the middle of it, and I'm going to hit the vital kills.
That's right.
You know, and then as you get out there, you just got to know where to hold as it's, you know, as the bullet will be dropping as you go. Not a bad little bull. You know, this is probably, you know, a little smaller than average that we get. You know, I think something more like Kent's was pretty close to average size. I'm happy with this. So.
Well, you know what? We made it through our 8-day adventure here in outside of Cody, Wyoming, with Open Creek Outfitters. Jay Reynolds and his staff did an excellent job. We not only bagged 3 nice elk, but boy, we saw some beautiful country. In fact, probably the most gorgeous country I'll ever have the chance of seeing in my days here. So boy, when you're looking for a great outdoor adventure, give Jay Reynolds and his crew a call at Open Creek Outfitters in Cody, Wyoming. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Sportsman's News Television.
Sportsman's News Television is sponsored by Barnes Bullets, unleaded, unfailing, and unbeatable. Vortex Optics, the force of optics. CVA muzzleloaders, it's just a better gun. And Sitka, turning clothing into gear.